my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into...
What is up, Steelers Nation? How you guys doing? Is everybody okay after that loss? I know it took me a little bit of time to get accustomed to what it feels like to lose a game, but it's a fast turnaround. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going into Cleveland on a Thursday night to play the Cleveland Browns. But before we talk about that game, let's go back and talk a little bit about the game that was, and especially the performance of the quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. As this is the title of the show, welcome to the Mitch Show. It is a play on words because when Mitch Trubisky plays bad, I think of it as a show. And so, clean it up a little bit, we'll call it the Mitch Show. Mitch Trubisky was 21 of 33 for 168 yards, one touchdown, one horrible interception for a 73.8 rating, 5.1 yards per average. It's bad. It was bad. It was a bad showing. I know there's a lot of talk out there referencing Matt Canada as a possible reason for the downplay of the offense, and we'll talk about that as well. I don't think that it's all on Matt. I think that there's a lot going on there when it comes to Mitch Trubisky. But let's say hello to some of the guys in the live chat. We have Jared Devil. How's it going, Jared? Steelers fan, always in. Appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, Jared Devil says it's time to call up Uncle Rico. It might be. How you doing, George? And so, one of the things that I noticed that was a common thing, and well, let me say this. In the second half of this show, the boys from the Drunk Turkey Show, which is a show that I do separate from the Steelers, they're going to be coming on with us and giving us their insight on the game. One of my good friends, Big Blue, he is a Chicago Bears fan and has a little bit of an insight on Mitch Trubisky. We're going to get to talk to him about what he thinks about Mitch. And we're going to talk to Jaime G, the Bigfoot hunter, as he goes by on the show. We'll be talking about him about the Steelers game. He's not a football fanatic, so to speak, like myself. However, he got to watch the football game and has an opinion. And we'll be talking to those guys about that. Comes out in the second part of the show, so stay tuned. So back to the Mitch Show. Mitch Trubisky threw a horrible interception trying to force one into the middle, which I don't know if he didn't see number 30, the defensive back that was right there, but he tipped it up. And Jalen Mills, the defensive back behind the wide receiver, ended up intercepting that ball. There's a lot of reports out there as well that there was receivers running open. All 22 just came out. I kind of took a little bit of a peek at it, and sure enough, I'm seeing that as well. I'm seeing George Pickens running wide open down the sideline. I'm seeing over the middle. There's a play where, and there's a lot of scrutiny here because Claypool and Deontay Johnson kind of collide into each other over the middle. However, the play is designed for them to come in close contact to pick off one, or do a rub on the cornerback, so that way one of the receivers can come open. And if you watch the play, Deontay Johnson comes wide open and for a first down. Mr. Trubisky really doesn't have that much pressure in front of him. He needs to kind of maybe move a little bit to the right, but he'll be fine. And yet he still finds himself just checking it down to Warren, and Warren not getting much, and then there was a punting situation. This was something that was constantly happening with Mitch Trubisky. Another thing that I've noticed about him is that he's throwing off his back foot quite a bit. There's no throws where he's, pushing his, power into it, throwing it accurately. And in my opinion, that's why it's inaccurate. His mechanics are off. He looks uncomfortable in the pocket. And I'm extremely concerned with his play. Now, I'll be honest. How's it going, Claude? I just saw your message here. Claude goes, "What's up, Daniel? Are you still a Trubisky fan?" I don't think I've ever was a Trubisky fan, and I'm not saying that I dislike him as a person or any of those things. When the Steelers acquired him, I was concerned. I didn't think he was an answer. I thought maybe he could be a bridge guy, but in reality, I didn't think he was somebody that gave the Steelers something better than what Mason Rudolph gave the Pittsburgh Steelers at the time, who was probably leading at that point in time as the number one or the starting quarterback. But yeah, no, I agree. The Mitch Trubisky is like, we'll go back to him. He's throwing off his back foot. He's wildly inaccurate. There's been some comments that have come out from some of the players that have alluded it being Matt Canada and Matt Canada not putting the plays out there. But I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing receivers being open down the field. I'm seeing things happening where there's opportunity there for Mr. Trubisky to attack further down the field, and he's not doing it. I'm not seeing these. One of the things that I'm also seeing is that Mr. Trubisky is a one-read pony kind of guy. He's looking at one read. If it's not there or it's not there immediately, he's checking it down. And these are things that are concerning to me because at this point, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a championship defense. They've had one each year for the past few years. Injury has kind of depleted that defense every single year, and it's been because of the fact that they've been on the field for such a long time. I get it last year and for the last couple of years, the Steelers were dealt with a quarterback who was not the most mobile of QBs, and had it was a little bit older. The arm strength wasn't there anymore as it used to be. The mobility definitely was. And so those things prevented the offense from doing certain things. It limited the offense's ability to open up the playbook, so to speak. And now you have a guy who can only read one option. That's also limiting the playbook. If this guy can't master these basic concepts that are being thrown out there right now, and he can't understand the basic stuff that's going on and deal with the defense and what they're doing to him, what makes you think that a more complex offense is going to help Mitch Trubisky? I don't think that's the right way to go, in my opinion. I think it's time for the kid to come in. A lot of people say, and I understand it. You don't want to throw him out there on a short week. But at the end of the day, even on a short week, given what we've seen from Mitch Trubisky, do you think that Kenny Pickett would be worse than Mitch Trubisky in the short week? I don't think so. I don't think that. I think that, in my opinion, it's obvious. The eye test is there. Mr. Trubisky is who he is. He's been the same quarterback for the last 6 years. It's not like, he's flashed here and there. Even in this last game, it's few and far in between of the plays that he does well and too many plays that he's just not seeing. But when it comes to Matt Canada, is he on the hot seat? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think he's on the hot seat until Pickett is in there and a similar result is happening. Mike Tomlin has a famous saying that he goes, when you have red paint, you paint the barn red. So basically meaning is you go with and you do with what you have. With the Ben Roethlisberger offense, he wasn't going to have any Ben RPOs. Ben was never going to be the running option in that situation. Ben wasn't going to extend the play for a very long period of time. So you needed a certain style and a certain playbook for him. It's Trubisky. He's a guy that needs a simpler offense because, in my opinion, the more complex it is, the less successful he has. That's why, in my opinion, you see a lot of rollouts from him. What that is that's cutting the field in half for him. They're protecting him, and it's either they open it up for him, and I'm guessing the fear is he's going to make several mistakes. And if you're uncertain about your quarterback and you think if you open up the playbook and you have to, run a rookie-style offense, then might as well play the rookie. That's my thoughts on that. Let's see. Let's go through some of the comments real quick. Michael Malley says, Tomlin's press conference made him look like, he does live. He does live in his fears and it's time to go. I wouldn't go to that extent on, pushing Mike Tomlin out. Not yet. The problem is, in my opinion, and it's come out a couple of times, is that Mike Tomlin doesn't really, and I'm not sure if he's responsible for it or if it's a Kevin Colbert thing, but financially, when it comes to what they pay their offense and defensive coordinators and things of that nature, it's really not usually the highest in the league. And so you get kind of what you pay for in that scenario. You're going to get guys on the come up, guys that are going to try to show something to that way they can make a paycheck somewhere else. And that's kind of the extent you're getting with this. Now, Mike Tomlin was a defensive coordinator, defensive-minded coach, even though he was a receiver in college. His main focus is there, and he's really leaving up the offense to the offensive coordinator to a certain extent. There's been rumors that have gone out that Mike Tomlin has been basically telling his coordinators and his quarterback to not throw the ball in certain places of the field to limit the possibility for turnovers. If he's doing that, he's definitely living in his fears. And then this is definitely a time for him to maybe lose a little bit of power in the sense of giving up that control completely to the offensive coordinator and allowing him to run his offense. Good comment, though. Let's see what else we have here. Jared Devil goes, Muth is very unutilized until we use an up-tempo offense. Kennedy needs to get it together. Now, when it comes to the play call and what happens from the time that the play is called to the time that the play is snapped, there's a lot of things that go on. And I explained this a little bit yesterday in the post game, and I'll say it again. Basically, the quarterback's given a series of plays. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's a couple of pass plays, sometimes it's a run or pass option, things of that nature. Now, once they go to the line and the quarterback sees the personnel and the lineup or the alignment of the defense, is when he's going to decide if the first play that was called is going to be the one that's ran or if other plays are going to be ran. Now, just what you see at the line of scrimmage before the snap doesn't always mean that's what's going to end up happening after the snap. Many times there's a disguise there so that they trick the quarterback into thinking the wrong thing. Now, once the ball is snapped, and this is where the offense gets complex or less complex, seeing what you see there as a quarterback and seeing what the defense is running and the alignment that they're in is going to tell you what routes are going to be ran based on your receiver. Now, the receivers have to be on the same page. They have to see the same thing as a quarterback. If not, you got some miscommunication issues. And that's where you'll see a one receiver run one direction and the pass go into a different way. And so all of that and everything really lies on the quarterback. You know, the plays and the concepts that are going out there are from Matt Canada. However, what is being decided to being ran and where the throw is going falls on the quarterback. And so it is a partnership, so to speak. However, you know, Matt Canada, in my opinion, runs one certain style of an offense, and it's not an offense that can be ran by many people. It's not like an offense. It's an offense that's designed for a mobile quarterback that can throw on the run accurately. Excuse me. Now, with that being said, Ben Roethlisberger was like a circle trying to fit in a triangular peg. It wasn't going to work. Mitch Trubisky at this point is like a square trying to fit in a triangular peg in a hole. It's not going to work. And so, in my opinion, at this point, I think it's time to put in the kid, time to put in Kenny Pickett. Let's see what he can do. He showed in preseason against vanilla defenses, competing for that number one spot, who Mitch Trubisky was also playing against vanilla defenses, shown, in my opinion, to outplay Mitch Trubisky there in that short amount of time. We'll read a few more comments, and then we'll be giving away 2 tickets, guys, to the Steelers Vegas Raiders game. I have a little promo video to show you guys to kind of show you the details of the contest. And then when we get back from that, I'll have the guys from the Drunk Turkey Show. But let's look at a couple more comments real quick. Yeah, George Teston says he's also not looking off defenders. He really wasn't. Mr. Trubisky, in my opinion, like I said, guys, he looks like he looks like a rookie. And if you're going to be playing somebody that looks like a rookie, might as well. Let's see. Michael Mellon says Canada's offense is a one read check down offense. Can't use college offense against pros. I agree. I definitely do agree with that. However, there's been some comments in the past where, whether it was Randy Fietner or even Matt Canada, where they have stated that there are options for the quarterbacks to throw deep, and the quarterbacks were not utilizing that option. And so I tend to believe the latter on that access, in that portion, because we're seeing receivers running down the field wide open. Let's see. Cloud says after Thursday, Mitch will be benched. I think that that's going to be probably the best opportunity for Kenny Pickett to come in, because there's going to be such a long week or preparation against the Jets. He has 10 days to prepare. I think that if Mitch Trubisky does struggle, though, in this game against Cleveland, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kenny Pickett in the second half or early on, actually. There was, I wasn't in stadium. However, I know a few people that were. And word is that there was a certain point in the game before Mitch Trubisky threw his touchdown pass and then converted the 2-point conversion to Deontay Johnson, where Kenny Pickett was warming up with a helmet on. Not saying that he was going in or anything like that, but there was a part in the game where it appeared that he was going to do so. We'll look at another comment real quick, and then I'll bring in the details of the contest. Claude says, a 6-year vet who constantly makes rookie mistakes, so why not Kenny? True story, true story. So we're giving away 2 tickets for the Steelers versus Raiders game. When we get back, we'll be having on the boys from the Drunk Turkey Show. So here it is. Hey, here's your chance to see the Pittsburgh Steelers play live this year. As in efforts to grow the channel, we at State of the Steelers are giving away 2 tickets for you to go see the Pittsburgh Steelers take on Las Vegas Raiders on Christmas Eve. This is a Christmas present for you or one of your family members. And the only thing that you have to do to get entered into the contest is be a subscriber. On October 30th, in the post-game show of the Steelers versus Eagles game, we'll be announcing the winner. It is encouraged that you be on the live, as you don't have to be present, but you will only have 24 hours to respond. So we highly encourage you guys to hit that notification bell. Now, the day before the game on the 23rd, I highly recommend, if you guys are going on to this game, make arrangements to be around Acrisure Stadium at 3:29, as Art Rooney and the Pittsburgh Steelers will have a special celebration going on at the marker where the Immaculate Reception occurred in Three Rivers Stadium. It is just outside Acrisure Stadium. You don't want to miss it. On December 24th, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be retiring Franco Harris's number at halftime. You want to be a part of history? Here's your opportunity, and the only thing you have to do is hit that subscribe button. Now, these tickets are in the lower level of the end zone in section 122. I'll give you a quick view of those. Again, all you got to do is be a subscriber. We'll be announcing some more terms and how to be entered into the contest a little bit closer to the time, which is basically just entering a comment into one of the shows that we'll be announcing for the comment selector. So these tickets will be given away at random. I'm not going to be selecting anybody or anything like that. It will be given away at random based on a comment. And we'll go into further details as soon as we get there. But as for now, all you have to do is just hit that subscribe button. That being said, good luck. Here we go, Steelers. And we're back. So don't adjust your screen. This is usually what you see when you get on the Drunk Turkey Show. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Big Blue, you're still muted. So I have another show called the Drunk Turkey Show. It's a show that's a little bit different. We don't talk too much sports on that show. It is a conspiracy film review, different type of thing. But these are my buddies. My good friend Jaime G and Big Blue. Big Blue is a Chicago Bears fan, and Jaime got to see the Steelers game this past weekend. Big Blue, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I got to get some rest, and I got to work tonight. But my voice is a little out today, so I'm sorry. The Drunk Turkey Show got me drunk the other night, and I was calling dinosaurs, so I lost my voice calling dinosaurs.
Oh man, I thought it was yelling at the football game. How did y'all Chicago Bears do against the Green Bay Packers there?
They blew it, man. They blew it like
Uh,
I I, I was kind of hungover, so I watched the beginning. I'm like, you know what? I gotta work tonight. I need to get at least an hour or two of sleep. I turned it off. I already knew what was gonna happen, man.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. How was your weekend, Jaime? Or how's your week going, Jaime?
Pretty good, man. The weekend was interesting. We went to the placita and whatnot, for the festivities.
Nice, nice. So I hear, Jaime, that you caught the game. What were your
I
opinions on the game?
I did, man. Like you said earlier, I'm not a big football fan, but like ever since like you've been doing the podcast, I've been catching a couple of those Steeler games, man. So maybe in the long run you have another fan to add to the Steelers.
I hope so, man. Maybe we can go attend the game. So you got to see the Steelers play.
Yeah,
You're not a fan of the football sport yet. What were
yet.
your opinions of the quarterback position? That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Mitch Trubisky. What did you think
Yeah.
about Mitch?
I'll tell you one thing, man. He looked kind of scared in that pocket, man. He looked doubtful. And like you say, he threw that interception, and then he got sacked. I mean, what can I say? It was kind of it wasn't a good game for him.
Yeah, that sack, it was one of those things where he had the opportunity to throw the ball away. I was
Mhm.
yelling at him like, just get rid of it, get rid of it. And he just ran out of bounds. It's something that has been a constant situation. It happened last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. It happened in preseason. And it was one of those things where I was like, man, it was frustrating. It was frustrating. Well,
Yeah.
but if anybody knows Mitch Trubisky more than the Pittsburgh Steelers do this year, it would be you, Big Blue. How did you feel? Let's start over from the beginning. When Mr. Trubisky was drafted number 2 overall in the 2017 draft, what was your feelings about him going into Chicago?
Well, Chicago has been struggling for a long time when it comes to a quarterback.
Yeah.
And they thought Trubisky was going to be the answer, and he was pretty good for a while. I mean, he in 2019 he made it to the Pro Bowl. I mean, that's pretty good out of all of the NFL teams to make it out there. But he falls under pressure a lot, man. Like if you really watch him play, he can throw some crazy passes. He reminds me of a little bit of a younger Aaron Rodgers. You give him a little bit of time, somebody will open up and he'll throw a bomb over the shoulder and land it right in their arms. But if you don't got that time, if he's got pressure, he don't make those passes.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're seeing. We're also seeing where it's looking like he's feeling the pressure before it happens. Was that something that you saw in Chicago? Did ever feel like he was leaving clean pockets or the rush that wasn't there getting to him?
Yeah, I mean, in Chicago they relied on him a lot. They've been going through some changes, so like they were a big more running game, and then they went to try to be more passing, and he just didn't make it, man. I think it has to do a lot with the coaches. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
every coach has their own strategies, the way they want to. I just see a comment, Aaron Rodgers. We wish.
Yeah.
I watched the whole game highlights, right?
Yeah.
And from what I saw, he's not a bad passer 80% of the time. I looked at his average for the last couple of games. He's about 86%. The offense did drop quite a bit of balls, and when you watch the game to start the fourth quarter, was it 6-17, and then at 14-17? That's still not bad for a little bit of a comeback. And that's at the end of the third quarter. The punt returner fumbled it at the 10-yard line. It was an easy point for the Patriots. So you can't blame 100% on them, man.
Right.
You can't blame, the nervousness. I mean, you're playing in the NFL, man. That's tough. Me and my doctor friend were talking about it the other day because he's a big Cowboy fan and how that got hurt and all the Cowboy, fans are crying right now. They're all crying their tears away.
Mhm.
There's only 5, top quarterbacks in the NFL that we can count that, game after game will show up. Other than that, it's a toss of a quarter, man. You don't know what you're going to get that day.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, if there was top quarterbacks throughout the league, then it'd be a more challenging sport. There's only a few at the top. But with Mitch Trubisky, one of the things that I've noticed with him is he throws a lot off of his back foot. I thought that, I get it because there was some plays where he did flash. There was the preseason game where he hit Deontay Johnson down the left side, down the sideline, and that was an incredible pass. You have to give that up to him. You had the Pat Fryermuth touchdown pass that he had here recently. I believe it was Pat Fryermuth that he scored a touchdown with. And then Deontay Johnson, that throw and that placement on that 2-point conversion was pretty legit. The problem is consistency. It's few and far times in between where that's happening. In my opinion, he's far more inconsistent and far more consistent doing the wrong things. I'm concerned, when the Chicago Bears benched him in favor of Nick Foles, what was it that caused him to get benched? How many games was it? Do you recall? I mean, was there any significant? Did he play that poor, or was it more of a situation where they were kind of in for him at that point?
Yeah, man, it was kind of like at the point where like we gave him his opportunity. Let's try somebody else that like. What I would say is what I'm reading on the site is Kenny Pickett. Everybody wants him in. Maybe give him an opportunity. Half the game. Show us what you got. And then there's sometimes to people that's not enough, but he's young, man. I see that like the Bears right now with Fields, they keep him in and out all the time because he's not ready either. Yeah. And if you get somebody that's not ready in there, and you get them hurt before they can be somebody, then you ruin their career, man.
Yeah, and that seems to be what the big question mark is when it comes to putting in Kenny Pickett. It is, if you put him in now, is there a possibility of tell me this happened again? Hey, can you hear me? All right. Yeah, I have no idea what happened. It just blinked out. But like I was saying, the feds are watching. Nice playing.
You're on to us again.
Yes. Like I was saying, when it comes to putting in Kenny Pickett, that's the fear. You're throwing him too early. You're throwing him too soon. He could potentially get hurt or ruin his confidence. And then, their could become what we saw in Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph became gun shy once he got knocked out by Earl Thomas. And then, he had a couple of bad games. He wasn't the same, so to speak. And so, I get it. I get it completely. Jaime, to from the quarterback situation, what did you think about the running game and Najee Harris and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Najee, oh man, he's good when he wants to, but he looked like he was having a lot of trouble reading the lines, the lanes.
Yeah,
like those open lanes that he had, and not only that, but he was like running to his own blockers and whatnot.
Yeah, I saw that. There was one play in particular where I saw Najee Harris run up the back of Pat Fryermuth, and he had options going on both sides. I was like, man, this is so concerning. But, in my opinion, and I'm actually putting on I just recorded a show for tomorrow morning talking about Najee Harris. So please hit that like and subscribe button. That way you get that, you get to watch my opinion on it. But I think he needs to sit down for a little bit. He looks a little slow. He looks a little, he's been dealing with a Liz Frank injury throughout training camp that took him out for majority of preseason. He played one preseason game, and then he came in against Cincinnati. And at the end of that game, or at the end of that game, he ended up going down with another leg injury. I've said it before, Najee Harris is not a speed guy. And so when you are limiting his ability to burst or run, then that's going to cause some issues, in my opinion. And it's going to slow him down. And that's not part of his game already. And so taking more speed away from him is just disastrous.
Yeah.
Before I let you guys go, I'm going to ask you one more last question. Jaime, who was your player of the game
Uh,
for the Steelers? For the Steelers.
well, I was gonna say me. I'm the best player at drinking. Me and Blue are the best players at drinking. Um, but I think it's gonna be Minka.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I definitely think that he was turning some heads, man. For him, he's gonna end up claiming that defensive player of the year. He's
I
really
think
looking
so, man. He had the pick six in week 1, and then he had
Yep.
another pick coming in. He's been all over the field. That is exactly who I think is going to be the guy. He's the staple point of this defense. Big Blue, my last question for you is: would you guys trade Justin Fields for Mitch Trubisky? Not just playing.
I mean,
No, my real question is, where do you see? Well, let's talk about your Chicago Bears. Where do you see them going in your division? Do you see them winning the division, or you think they're going to struggle this year?
by the last couple games I've seen, like yesterday's game, they're gonna struggle a little bit. They're not there 100% yet. I mean, I just saw when they played the other night in the rain against the Niners. That was a good game, but the Niners couldn't do shit because nobody could do anything because of the rain. Like the last of the game, the last 5 minutes, it was just pouring. Man, they had to stop the game for a little bit. It was a fun game to watch. I mean, everybody was slipping and sliding everywhere. It was a good game, but I think that's main reason why they won that game. The Niners couldn't get a good ball handle. You couldn't even throw it that far without the wind kind of rain pushing it down. So it was a tough game to try to win after they were down. And I love the Bears. I've loved the Bears since I was probably. I used to be a Cowboys fan when I was a younger kid, and I became a Bears fan probably when I was around 13.
Nice. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Jaime, can you let everybody know what the Drunk Turkey Show is and where they can find us and when's our next show? And Blue, same thing afterwards.
Yeah, Drunk Turkey Show pretty much is a show that has us three and some guests at certain points of time, and we drink. We talk pretty much about every kind of anything that has to do with pop culture, movies, and whatnot. Anything. Nothing's off topic, but it's fun. Y'all should tune in. We're on Spotify. We're on all any app that does podcasts and whatnot. You can find us on YouTube at the Drunk Turkey Show. So, yeah,
awesome. Hey, Big Blue, what would you describe the Drunk Turkey Show as?
Just a bunch of friends just having a good time, man. We sometimes get celebrity guests to come out. We have a couple of drinks with them. They also drink, and they talk about their life. They talk about businesses they're trying to come up with, movies that they're in. We just enjoy life one day at a time.
Yep. I couldn't describe it any better. So please, guys, if you guys are interested in something a little bit different other than the Pittsburgh Steelers and want to listen to me talk about pop culture and talk to some celebrity guests, as Blue mentioned, we've had on Danny De La Paz, the actor of Big Puppet and American Me. We've had a couple of film producers, Grammy Award nominated Texas singer-songwriter Buddy Vargas on the show, and we've had a familiar face from down under on the show as well. So you don't want to miss it, guys. So it's the links are in the description. Just look up the Drunk Turkey Show and you'll find us. The next show we have will be Wednesday night, where we'll be sampling a little bit of beer. You don't want to miss it. For State of the Steelers, I'm Daniel J. This is Jaime the Bigfoot Hunter, Big Blue downtown. Catch y'all later, man. Peace.